Some parents grew up in toxic environments and unknowingly behave as they have been taught. Here are the 10 things these parents do that are negative, so let's see how to change that. There are a few things in parenting that most parents think of as normal, but these things leave a negative impact on children. We'll further point out these 10 mistakes and list more effective ways of dealing with children in a healthier manner. All parents love their children, and none of them intentionally mishandle their kids, although there are a few exceptions. One or both parents might be mentally ill or have abusive behavior due to their unsolved traumatic experiences. Nonetheless, there are few changes parents can implement for the sake of their children. First parenting mistake is screaming at your child. Screaming may come out without even intending to do so. Mothers especially get a bad reputation for yelling at their kids most of the time. However, take note, screaming sometimes leaves a traumatizing impact on children as spanking. The more you shout at your children, the more loud and less disciplined they'll be. Have a firm voice and tell them in a way that they obey your instruction without the need to scream at them. First, ask your children to do what you need them to do in a nice way. But if they don't listen to you, be a little strict without raising your voice or without threatening them. It's a good idea to ask yourself why you feel the need to scream at them. Sometimes it goes beyond the fact that they aren't listening to your demands. According to a research, parents don't want to shout or hit their kids. We do it because we are stressed and we don't see another way. Next parenting mistake is blaming the child. According to various psychologists, blaming weakens any relationship. Blaming children lowers their self-esteem and makes them defensive. According to another research on Kids Helpline, continuous blaming or criticizing is a form of emotional abuse. So rather than blaming, give your child a chance to correct their wrongs. Guide them and teach them. Imagine being told how to do something by a screaming boss. Would it work for you? Next parenting mistake is the non-stop orders. Without first helping your child understand, your words can become orders and demands, much like a drill sergeant. If your child becomes used to following an endless parade of orders when they grow up, they'll blindly obey any authority without thinking rationally. You can help your child see things logically and why it's important. If your child follows through, be sure to give them some credit, either in the form of verbal praising, encouragement, or buying a small token for their good work without making it feel like a bribe. Next parenting mistake is threatening. Threatening is mostly used by parents as a quick fix, or they think that their child will not listen to them without showing authority. Well, threatening creates fear in children, which is not good for their mental health. Anything done out of fear is not done by heart, so it becomes pointless to make kids obey commands by threatening them. Also, when you threaten your children with a particular punishment, but later on don't follow through, your child will take you for granted or think that you are all just talk. Rather than threatening, it is better to give constructive punishments to your child. This form of discipline allows your child to figure out a solution to the problem. It becomes a learning experience rather than a moment of shame. Next parenting mistake is being sarcastic with children. While sarcasm is bad even for adults, it is not meant for children at all. Children are straightforward and innocent. They do not understand sarcasm. Making fun of someone and using sarcastic tone only creates hatred. Mocking a hurt child or name-calling is against the basic rights of children, and it's a form of emotional abuse. If you find yourself doing this, ask yourself why that may be. Has your parent treated you in this way when you were a child? Are you trying to manipulate to get something out of your child? If so, that needs to be corrected before any further damage is done. Next parenting mistake is cursing or using abusive language. Remember, your children will say or do what you say or do. If you curse, they'll learn to curse others. If you use abusive language, they'll use the same. A child's innocent mind will know it is not right deep down. Therefore, in some cases, a child may lose respect for you. Again, these are all things we can stop ourselves from doing. It will be difficult at first, but don't give up. Next parenting mistake is comparison of your child with other children. Comparison of your child with other children is hurtful to the child. No kid likes to be compared to someone else. It affects their self-esteem, as child welfare mentioned. Remember, if you compare your child with another child, your child may start hating or become jealous of the other child. Comparison is a negative thing that only creates envy and anger, especially among siblings and cousins. Look for the successes and achievements the child accomplished and acknowledge them. They are an individual who is deserving for praise without needs to be like another child. Making comparisons will make a child feel like they are not good enough. Next parenting mistake is continuous advising. Advising children is important when it comes to their moral upbringing or teaching them basic manners, but continuous advising will make your child steer away. Advice looks good up to a certain limit. Continuous advice will make your child start ignoring you. Instead of only advising them, start with praising their efforts first and then telling them clearly about your expectations. Above all, your advice must be practical, logical, and they must not be contradictory to your actions. When speaking to your child, include phrases like "let us" or "why not try doing so and so," rather than saying "you should." Discard the word of should, which is often the biggest turn-off for children. Be like a best friend to your child, not a lecturer. Next parenting mistake is the mistrust or doubting your child. You are making a very big mistake if you doubt your child or mistrust them. It will be even more hurtful if you tell them this. Sometimes children must be given the benefit of doubt. Mistrust weakens mutual trust and hurts your children and their self-esteem. If you still have doubts about them or their activities, then be a silent observer or keep an eye on them. Do this for their betterment, not to embarrass them. This will also help you see what their intentions are truly. And last but not least, another parenting mistake is raising hands on kids or spanking. The last mistake is obvious that getting physical should be avoided. Hurting someone, whether child or an adult, whether emotionally or physically, will not get them to understand or do what we have asked of them. If they comply, it's only out of fear and not respect. Fear will make your child lose trust in you, and they'll want to avoid you. These issues will further follow them into other relationships. According to research on child welfare, child abuse and neglect lead to physical as well as psychological issues in children, like low self-esteem, depression, and isolation. In extreme cases, children may also suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, which is known as PTSD, and this further leads to suicidal behavior or substance use. So all of the mistakes mentioned can have a negative impact not only on your child but on you too. Constantly being doubtful, sarcastic, or loud makes you more negative and cynical. It will spoil the relationship between you and your child. And above all, it won't fulfill the goal of getting your child to obey you. So avoid these 10 things because they are not normal traits in parenting. Let us know about your feedback in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe our channel. Thank you.